let you know that we've come up with a communication plan, and we will be talking about the goals at all the campus meetings plus the individual council meetings. If any employee ever has any questions, just seek out a member of the strategic plan committee. Strategic goal plan number 2 is generate and invest in transformational partnerships and educational opportunities for institutional growth. Jim Hoops is the lead and I'm the co-lead. Our basic of the goal is to communicate with different businesses, organizations, and the community members, including other schools. This is just a showing of sub-goal number A, to build relationship with business, government, academics, and community organizations through shared vision, goals, and stewardships. We also have the sub-tactics, but at the same time, I'm not going to go over them. And then the person responsible, the time frame, our output or evidence of the results. And if you see far to the right, it's the action that's been taken, any status updates, or any ideas. And we'd like your help with that, and I'll get to that in a moment. Sub-goal B, produce qualified candidates to meet area workforce needs. We talked about, real quick, the job shadow and increase the work experience through the apprenticeships, which we are doing with the Perkins Grant. So that's going forward right now. The other two are still heading forward, just not progressing quickly. And then the final one is goal C, or sub-goal C, is be the source of professional development and continuing education for the region. We've had several seminars, not only for off-campus companies, but also supervisors and employees and staff. Okay, so this is where you all come in. We each know what we are doing individually, and sometimes the communication is hard to flow outside of us. So the committee is asking that through the review and add to the strategic plan, and I put up here how that would be done. If you go through your email, and a lot of you are probably familiar with this, but it's also sent out. If you go into your email, you'll see this multi-square box. If you just click on the Google Drive and do a search for strategic plan, that would be your easiest. You're going to see an icon that looks like that. You'll double click on the icon, and then the full strategic plan is the first tab, so you can read that over at any time. And then goal 1, 2, 3, and 4 is available for you to click on and add your comments to it. We ask that you put your name and your date, and the applicable sub-goal tactic, and then your action taken, status update, or any ideas for that goal. And then through that, it will be reviewed by myself and Jim Hoops, and then if it's appropriate to be put on the goal, we'll update the goal, including your action. And if it's an idea, we'll bring it to just strategic planning committee, and we'll discuss that as an idea and how we can go about moving forward with that. So I believe, the most important one, goals marked as completed. Goal 3A and 3A3, implementing a plan to build equality and transparency, promoting the dignity and worth of all individuals. We, at this time, have completed both those goals by restoring relationships between administration and the union, and changed the HR from punitive to a coaching model. And then goal 4, 4A1 and 4AB, it's the base budget and decision making on critical analysts, and examine our internal processes for to improve efficiency and effectiveness. So by this, we have invested in an institutional researcher and also addressed safety as a key foundational issue here at Northwest State. So these are some of the goals that are marked complete. Once a goal is marked complete at any time, we feel that maybe it's getting off track because marking a goal complete means that it's where it needs to be. It just needs to continue down the path. If there's a bump in the road in anything that we close out, we are able to reopen that and relook at it and move forward with that. But as of right now, I think it's great that we finished these goals. This was very positive for the whole entire campus. So I believe that's all I have. The Veterans Lounge.
We're not going to touch it. We just wanted to get up and have a chance to let you know about the Veterans Lounge that we've established with the start of this semester. It's located in room A109, which is off the library. So if you go in the far east doors that go back into the library area, if you go in those far east doors and you just go straight on through, a lot of us would know that room as formerly being the Banner Room. It was the Banner Training Room. But that's what we've created as the Veterans Lounge. And the police, they manage the access to the Veterans Lounge. We've created a form that a person will have to sign off on, acknowledging the Veterans Lounge agreement, acknowledging the rules and stuff associated with it. Veterans, in order to identify themselves, they do need to provide a copy of their DD-214 or their military ID. And the campus police, of course, will then issue the key based on person filling out the agreement. Everybody that was enrolled for fall that were identified already as a veteran were notified of this. And we've also been placing the information up on the plasma screens and stuff. So this is basically the information you've seen on the plasma screens. So I think it's a great effort on our campus to recognize and acknowledge our veterans. We're trying to give them a space that they feel is their own, that maybe is a little bit quieter, a little bit off the beaten path and stuff that they can focus in to do the work that they need to do to be successful as students. So I just want to acknowledge Tim Nelson and his crew and Joe and IT for helping us get this put together. So I think it's a nice space, and although you don't have a key, you don't have access to you can look in the windows and you can see what the space looks like. It is set up very nicely.
I just want to take a moment to remind everybody about the training fund that was established last year. This was in response to a lot of budgets were cut in training and development for employees. And so we do have available for this fiscal year just under $29,000, and the application process is the same. You can go on the U-Drive and find the application, fill it out. It goes to a committee of Lynn Spicer, Cassie Rickenberg, Tom Bose, and then is moved on and approved or not approved based on the criteria. A couple things that we want to share with you to remind you of is get your applications in early. As you know, this has to go through a committee and then, a couple more layers. And so, if you turn something in and the registration is, 4 or 5 days away, you're probably not going to meet the deadline on that. So get your application in as soon as you know this is something you want to do. Make sure you provide the documentation required with the application. So if you're looking at going to a conference or a seminar, attach the materials that you have that tell you about the conference or the seminar, because all the information that we need is probably in that brochure. So just go ahead and attach that. The last item I did want to mention that really isn't part of the training fund application, but it kind of goes together with training, is there's going to be an email come out probably this afternoon to talk about the fact that Custom Training Solutions is providing some computer training that they send out to the public to see if there are people in the community, at different organizations that want this type of training. And it's Microsoft and Adobe. A lot of times those classes run but aren't full. So if we have a class that we can put 20 people in, we maybe have, let's say, 10 people from the community sign up for it, so it runs with 10 empty seats. And so we're going to push those out to employees as an opportunity. If this is a training that you'd be interested in, if we have open seats, we can put employees in to fill the class out. Now, that's great news. The bad side of that is we have to wait to see who in the community applies to know how many open seats we have. So many times you may get short notice that this is available to you. So what we're going to ask you to do is look at the training opportunities. We're going to work through Martha. You're going to let her know which classes you're interested in. She will track that, and then once the class is established, we know how many openings we have. We'll look at the list of employees on a first come, first served basis, and we'll notify you that this is open for you. But you may not know that until a few days before the class. And so if you send to Martha, these are the ones I'm interested in, I would suggest maybe you block your calendar that day to reserve that spot. And obviously, as with any training, you need to get your supervisor's approval for this training. And so in some departments, not everybody in the department can go the same day. And so you need to go to your supervisor, get approval, send your name to Martha, and then we'll notify you if this is gonna work out or not. And if you miss a class, in the first round, maybe it becomes available next semester, something like that. So this is something new. We're gonna roll it out and see how it works. But please take advantage of this free training because, I think we can all benefit from it. Thank you.
Hello. I just want to take a few minutes to talk about the wellness program here at the college. Our wellness year runs from September to June. We actually apply for a grant through NBHP, our healthcare provider. So we have to have our grant application in by June 30th. They review that throughout the summer, and then they issue a check early September. So we did get that money last week. So our wellness year does run from September 1st to June 30th. The first thing I want to talk about is the Northwest Ohio Heart Walk. That will be Saturday, October 7th. It will be held on our campus. This is the second year of doing that, and it's a great thing because Northwest State is a sponsor. It's kind of the center of the county, so it's a great spot to have it. So I would encourage you to participate in some way. There's several ways to participate. We have June's Day fundraisers, and thanks to your participation, we've raised over $350 with those, and we'll actually have another one of those coming up next week. You can also join the team. We have 3 teams formed on campus. You can see the team coaches there. If you're interested in being a part of a team, you can contact any one of those coaches and we can send you an invite to join. Can't make it the day of the walk, and I know a lot of people who are busy. You can sign up to be a heart walker and still raise money, still make donations. All the money goes to research, training, and education for the Heart Association, so it's a great cause. And then this is just an incentive to sign up and fundraise. They're actually offering an Amazon Echo to the person that fundraises and raises the most money. And I'll send information about that out afterwards. Another thing I want to talk about is the Pillars of Health. I think this is a great program. This is done by Fusion Fitness. They actually put this program together, and I kind of facilitate it at our campus. So there's 8 pillars running from September to April. I sent that email out at the beginning of the month, and it's very basic. I think some of the times the emails get overwhelming, but all you're doing is tracking your exercise. So for every day you exercise 30 minutes, you get a point. At the end of the month, total up your points, and then you will submit it on a Google Doc, which I'll show in the next slide. There's also an option to track weight and measurements. And then the incentive to do this is you can win a gift card. So for every 5 points you earn, you're entered to win a gift card. So this is the Google form. So you'll just enter your name, first, last name, your points earned, and there's also options for the inches lost and weight loss. So it takes 10 seconds to enter this, and then they actually track all that, and then we get the gift cards in the mail. Other wellness activities that we have on campus, Healthy Cart, Lunch and Learns. Anybody that wants to present at the Lunch and Learn, there's a health topic that you're passionate about, something you want to share with the campus community. We're always looking for presenters. We've had employees in the past talk about stress management, different diets, heart health. So anything that you want to share, I'm always looking for presenters in-house and out-of-house. We had the Go Red Day lunch last February. That went over really well, so we'll probably do that again this year. Parfait bars, Kleenex, hand sanitizers, Lysol wipes, something to prevent germs, prevent spread of illness. Another thing is the ball chairs. We have those to run out, so you want to rent those out 30 days, and if nobody else wants them, you keep them longer. I think we both have both of them out in circulation right now, but if you're interested in trying out one of those, just let me know. And we also have a desk lamp that you can rent out. And then something else the fitness or the committee has done is donate money to the fitness center. So Mike has done a great job getting equipment, upgrading equipment. It's a state-of-the-art fitness center, so you can check it out, take advantage of it. It's a great facility. And lastly, this is our wellness committee. This is my 3rd year wellness chair. and pillars coordinator, and then we have other people on the committee. It's not a time-consuming committee, so if you have any interest in joining, we meet maybe 2 times a year, communicate through email. So if you have any ideas or want to join, just let me know. That's all. Thank you.
Huh? Why? Is that why I'm last? Because on the agenda I was supposed to be first. That's all right. That's okay. Mike Jacobs, Career Services, Student Activities. Just a couple of updates for the fall semester. I'm sure you've all spent a lot of time back and forth in C-Wing, and you've seen the job board that we actually have up down there that I mentioned in the spring semester. Something that I started toward the end of the spring semester was really trying to showcase what College Central can actually do for our students. And so at the end of each month, I go back and review and see how many jobs were posted for the prior month, just so students and you all are aware that there's a lot of activity. So in August, there were 392 individual jobs. There's more than that, but these are the ones that are posted specifically to Northwest State Community College. Probably 95% of them are local to us, but we do other positions that get posted out of Columbus and even out of state. But again, remind students if they're talking about, hey, looking for a part-time job on campus or off campus, or even, hey, I'm getting ready to graduate, I'm not really sure where I go for employment. Obviously, my office is probably the first place that I hope you recommend, but also remind them that we do have this online job board, collegecentral.com/NSCC. We also partner obviously with Ohio Meets Jobs. This slide rotates throughout there as well, so we really kind of promote both of those resources. So for those of you that maybe heard me last semester but didn't really remember, OhioMeetsJobs.com and College Central are really kind of those 2 main online resources that I promote. Starting the week after next, we'll start ramping up our Employer Spotlight program again, and that's where I bring employers to campus. One thing that actually came up within the last week or so, as we're planning, the admissions office is planning Discover NSCC Day, we do a career fair. We started that this last spring, bringing employers here to campus, not necessarily to recruit to get employees, but to talk about the connection between the academic opportunities that we have here at Northwest State and how those translate into work. And so I think Ron Scazzari got a hold of somebody in admissions who got a hold of me wanting to know if Keller Trucking could be invited to that. Of course, anybody's welcome. So if there are companies or businesses that you're, connected to, or somebody, or you've heard that somebody's hiring, please feel free to share my contact information with them. I can roll them into this Employer Spotlight opportunity as well. I reach out to, these are some of the main names that you kind of hear throughout our community, but there are literally hundreds and hundreds of smaller companies that most people haven't heard about, but they're hiring. They're paying really, really good competitive wages. And so this Employer Spotlight program is an opportunity to get them to campus, showcase their brand, raise that awareness, and then help our students understand that you don't just have to go to Sodders or Spanglers or General Motors. There are many, many companies that are looking for employees. You've seen this map before too, but again, these are where all the physical job boards are around campus. So again, if you overhear a student saying they're looking for work or they're not really sure where to go to find out that information, the main one for all the divisions is on the first floor of A, right outside the Success Center where Jason works. On the second floor of the A building, right outside of Allied Health, Business and Public Service and Nursing, is that particular job board, which focuses on jobs that are related to those majors. First and second floor of B are all the majority of the business programs, and then down in E we have industrial technologies and engineering. So we keep those updated pretty regularly. Hopefully there's no outdated information up there, but about every week and a half we get those job postings updated. A couple other things more on the student activity side. We'll get updates and initiatives that are kind of coming out of the state to try to raise awareness on certain issues for our students. And this is the second year that they've done this Propel Ohio Leadership Summit. I basically get the information and then I share it with our students. So this is posted on the plasmas and it's on some of the other boards, and then for a few faculty, I'll put this information in their mailboxes as well. But it basically tries to identify issues that are addressing childhood poverty. So I put that information out there. If there's any students that have an interest in that or want to do a little bit more research and do a presentation, they can visit this website, and then they themselves kind of create their program. We had a adjunct faculty member last year, Emily Gherkin, was kind of the faculty lead on that. I asked her if she wanted to help out this year, and she's going to be delivering a baby on November 17th. So if there's a faculty member that's interested in doing that, I know that the college allowed Emily to take a college vehicle with our students last year. So if you're interested in that, and they actually focused on the food pantry that we have as a way that Northwest State is kind of trying to address some of those hunger needs in our area, specifically for our students, who obviously most of them do have children as well. So that's an opportunity if you're interested and you want to be the lead on that, and then try to identify some students. You're more than welcome to do that as well. Tomorrow is Constitution Day. Woo-hoo. It's almost as exciting as Christmas, but that's going from 11 to 1 tomorrow. If you remember hearing "I'm Just a Bill," right? You'll hear it again tomorrow, but it's only one day. It was 4 days last year that I played that song, so you'll all be singing it. And it also just happens to coincidentally be voter registration day tomorrow. So out in the atrium, we'll have a table. We will have paper voter registration forms, and I got some other information from the Henry County Board of Elections. So we'll be sharing that information with our students, some of whom haven't registered or maybe didn't know how, so that's a good opportunity for them tomorrow. These are some additional upcoming events. I'll talk about October 11th here in just a second. The Halloween costume contest. I know admissions and financial aid have already started like top secret meetings for their costumes, but it's a pretty fun time if you remember it from years past. You get judged and whatever. It's a good time. Christmas for Kids with Rick Small leading Mix. I heard last year that they may or may not be doing something like this. So that's why it's tentative, but we'll end up doing something before Thanksgiving, some type of a fundraiser or something like that. And then the Ugly Sweater Contest was the first year we've ever done that. Last year, that's kind of a partnership with Robin and the foundation, just to raise some awareness about scholarships and to have a little bit of fun. All right, so nothing has changed. Well, everything is the same with an addition. So Wednesday, October 11th, you can sign up outside the bookstore. I gotta get through Constitution Day first. For a $2 donation, you get chips, soda, and you get to sample. Last year we had 11 teams, which is really awesome. We had several offices that had never participated before. I hounded them enough, and they finally signed up. So that was a lot of fun. We had 11 teams. Here's the difference. There are 2 ways to win the chili cook-off this year. We are keeping the traditional People's Choice Award, which typically comes down to engineering and nursing, paying off their students to vote. All right, we all know it's not a secret. So what I decided to do to encourage those of you who actually do make good chili, not saying engineering and nursing don't, but we are introducing the Judge's Choice this year. So I've been working with Robin to identify 3 guest alumni judges to do a blind taste test and actually pick the best tasting chili. Traditional red and the alternative, usually white chili, chicken chili, whatever. Because we usually have a few of those entries as well, and I don't want you to not put that in too. So, blind taste test. So that should encourage those of you who are tired of the whole Colin and nursing division antics, and you have a choice now. It's fun. We love it. It's fun. Now on the People's Choice side, you will get the coveted golden ladle, and I haven't figured out exactly what that means yet, but I'm gonna spray paint a big giant spoon or something, and we'll put your name on it and hang it up. I don't know. I haven't figured that part out yet. But Judge's Choice and the People's Choice are what's going to happen this year, so it should be a really good time. If you don't feel like making chili, that's okay. You can still come out and support it. All the money that we raise goes to the PATH Center. Most of the time, the winning teams donate their funds back anyway, so that's kind of cool. We were able to give them over $600 last year, which which is more than half of their entire annual budget at the Defiance Pass Center. So, because they rely a lot on donations and everything. So, anyway, chili cook-off's coming up, and hopefully you'll participate. Thank you. Brittany's brave. She's the one.
Mine is not as exciting as the chili cook-off, but so Safe Colleges Training, if you aren't familiar with it, it's our online platform for the mandatory training. As most of you have seen, the ethics training is the newest training that I've assigned. It is due October 15th, so if you could complete that training before then. You are getting weekly reminders. I believe if you aren't getting weekly reminders, it would be nice if you let me know if you aren't getting those. So the next round of classes won't be until spring, but for our part-time adjuncts, we rolled that out this semester. So you do have 4 classes that you were assigned to have completed by October 15th as well. So let me know if you haven't received the email to complete the required training. Most of the deans, I believe, got me all the names and any part-time adjuncts that are going through Megan. She's given me those names as well, but that is the required training that we have to have complete every year. Annie? I don't need this, so there you go.
Chrysler, they make vehicles. Any questions? No, I wanted to talk about an exciting project that we have going on at Scott Park right now. It started on Monday. I'll say 4 or 6 months ago, we received a call from Chrysler saying that they wanted to do some training in the fall for their workforce. So what's happening right now is we've begun training 2,200 Chrysler employees between now and 5 weeks from now. At the training is on, there's 24 hours of training for each individual employee, and training runs Monday through Saturday for 6 straight weeks. So any given day at Scott Park, there's 180 Chrysler employees going through non-credit training. And it's Chrysler's version of lean manufacturing. It's workplace organization, autonomous maintenance, those types of topics. Just to put that project in perspective, CTS in total last year trained 210 individuals in contract training. So the Chrysler project alone is 2,200. It's more than we did all of last year, and we're doing it in 6 weeks. So.
You got 2,000 employees overall last year. You said 210?
Oh, 2010. Thank you.
You just doubled the number.
Yeah, basically doubling the number in a 6-week period. And it's yeah. All right, thanks.
If I wasn't doing too much.
Yesterday, I attended the President's meeting in Columbus and came home with that feeling in the gut that thinks, how am I going to get all of this done? In House Bill 49, which is the budget bill, they gave us yesterday 4 sheets of paper, fine print, of deadlines that need to be met by each college. And so I'm starting to list out a few of those. The efficiency report, which Kathy, I, and the board will be working on, is due on the 13th of October, but that involves all of us. That's an update from the one we did last year. There's already plans for the efficiency report for 18. So this is becoming very serious in the state budgeting. We got to go back to 2006 to a STEM proposal, and we got to show how the college has changed since 2006, 11 years ago, till now, and report that out, and that's due by the 15th. And that also needs board approval before I can send that in. Programs that have low enrollment as determined by the state, we have to have a plan as to how we're going to partner with other institutions if that can be done so that we can create efficiencies. And that's due by the end of the calendar year. We have to report out on what we're doing with textbook costs. So we're working with that one. Regional compacts. The regions haven't even been defined yet by the state, but we've got to work within the other state institutions that fall within the regional compact to come up with plans of collaboration. And that does have a time frame. It's due at the end of this academic year. In if an institution has any type of a paid leave donation program, we have got to get that reduced to a policy and submit it to the state. Intellectual property, and here it's not what I would think of as intellectual property as much as what it is. Believe it or not, there's been a problem with textbooks that people are using as instructors. Who owns those textbooks that publishing companies send? We also have to show with the chancellor, and he'll take the lead on this, as to how we're working with our veterans in hiring preferences. So there's a little work to do there. I was very disappointed to get this news. In the House Bill 49, it also talked about community colleges starting to offer bachelor's degrees. And the read on this now is the bachelor's degree must be something that is new. And it's not a normal degree. In other words, the chancellor is not going to support the bachelor's in nursing because he's feeling that that's available, it's an existing program, and if community colleges have moved towards a bachelor's in nursing, all we're doing is taking students away from the state institutions that are already doing that. So one of the examples that was given that the chancellor would probably look at favorably was a bachelor's in survey science, because there's no four-year institution that has a bachelor's in survey science. So you can start to see it has to be very technical, and it has to be a precise field that fits a need in the workforce development for your community. I would like to have 2 volunteers to work with Kathy and Tim and I as to start to put together a plan to renovate the B building. Now this will be done with state dollars, which will be the capital budget, which they're thinking will be announced sometime in March time period of 18. The money would be in the next biennium, and it's very obvious to me that if we whenever we get money, we tie how we're going to use that money to the governor's vision of the future. So we'll be listening very closely to what the governor is talking about, and then we'll be trying to take our needs in the renovation of the B building and so show how that renovation is going to support things like apprenticeships, workforce development, insurance needs, banking needs, entrepreneurship would be another one. Those are the buzzwords at this moment. I'm not suggesting those words will stay buzzwords as we move further along. But if you're working in the B building, it's a great opportunity for you to be involved in that renovation, what that might look like. No promise that we'll get the money, but our chances of getting the money are much better when you tie it into the vision of the person that's going to sign the bill. Perkins Grant. Len is ready to send out the information for the 2017 Perkins Grant. I didn't see it before I came up here, but I know it's ready, so it'll be coming out this afternoon, and all the details are there. And she's encouraging each person to read through and to see if that's something that you would be interested in. Well, we were a little nervous in trying to get all of this said, and I see we have a few minutes to spare, but I know if you have a 1 o'clock class, it gets a little nerve-wracking to be here, and it gets closer and closer to 1 o'clock. Questions? We bring the whole crew back up. Yes, Dave? Yeah, Terry's got to take the
Oh, Terry got it? Okay. The question in regard to regional cooperation that you mentioned, was that similar to what we were doing with Sarah to some degree, or trying to do?
That's a fair question. I don't have an answer to that. That was being watched very closely from the state perspective, I know. But it's going to be much larger than that because I'm dealing with an assumption that there could be 5 regions within the state, the corners and the middle. And so all the state institutions that would be deemed as being in the northwest corner could be one of those regions.
Yes, along with that, you think they're going to go to the Ohio Means Jobs? Are there 5 or 6? That's what we're being put into.
That was talked about at the president's meeting, and no one seemed to have an answer to that.
It seems like that's,
That would be logical.
yeah.
But someone made the joke, when you're dealing with something logical, politically, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
That wasn't my
It's
joke.
happening with us, so.
Yeah. More questions?
Yeah, I had a question for Todd. In your Chrysler work, did they show you the new Jeep?
Yeah, there's one parked there.
Are there some parts there? Big
Can you
parts?
test drive it?
No, they're bringing So the training has hands-on components to it, so they've brought kits in that the employees get to work with and get to train on.
All right.
They have a Jeep parked there, it's not the new Jeep.
Oh,
You were there, is it the new Jeep? It can't be, no.
Oh, not that I
that's
recognize.
gone.
Yeah, it's a brand new Jeep, not the newer model, so that's not being made yet.
Good
It's a
question.
pretty sky blue Jeep too.
Thank you. Luckily.